Buenos dias a todos. Good day, fellow educators. Welcome to the orientation on the guidelines on the implementation of the result-based performance management system for school year 2020-2021. This orientation is intended to all our DepEd schools, school heads, and teachers. I am Dr. Rosalio Conturno Jr., Chief of the School Governance and Operations Division. I welcome you to this orientation. The demand for teaching and learning has changed for the school year 2020-2021 as a result of the impact of COVID-19. Education institutions, including the Department of Education, shifted focus to delivering education remotely through various distant learning delivery modalities. The current efforts of the department, its schools, and workforce are towards developing learning resources and upskilling and retooling teachers to support the DLDMs adopted by the schools. As the learning delivery changes, so do the duties of teachers to their learners and the performance expected of them. The expectation of teachers must be captured in their performance assessment through a more contextualized result-based performance management system. The modifications in RPMS, its tools, processes, and protocols for school year 2020-2021 captures the DepEd current system that governs teachers' function. The selected RPMS objectives aim to assist teachers to adapt and/or respond more quickly and effectively to emerging circumstances associated with the challenges brought by the pandemic. Furthermore, I am going to read to you the definition of important terms in the RPMS. Content, knowledge, and pedagogy. Competencies that teachers are expected to master for them to teach efficiently and effectively. Creative thinking skills involve exploring ideas, generating possibilities, and looking for many right answers rather than just one. Critical thinking skills refer to the many kinds of intellectual skills that occurs when students are analyzing, evaluating, interpreting, or synthesizing information and applying creative thought to form an argument, solve a problem, or reach a conclusion. Feedback refers to essential and culturally appropriate written and/or oral information about learners' performance, output that can be used to raise awareness on their strengths and weaknesses as basis for improvement. Feedback superficial refer to feedback that is formulaic and lacks information on how to improve learning. Higher order thinking skills. Complex thinking processes, which include logical and critical analysis, evaluation and synthesis thinking that enable individuals to reflect, solve problems, and create products, solutions. Home visitation. An intervention strategy that involves the learners' families and the community, where possible. The teacher shall do home visits to learners needing remediation or assistance. Interviews, consultations, and dialogues with parents can be conducted to assess the students' learning progress. Individual learning monitoring plan. Utilized to monitor learner progress based on the given intervention strategies. Information and communications technology includes, but is not limited to, computer hardware and software, digital resources, and digital information or media that can be used for instruction. Learner-centered culture refers to a set of attitudes, conventions, and practices that place the learners at the center of the learning process by using varied teaching modalities, responsive to learners' diverse background and relevant to meaningful learning experience. Learners in difficult circumstances refer to learners that are geographically isolated, chronically ill, displaced due to armed conflict, urban resettlement or disasters, child abuse, and experience child labor practices. Also refer to persons who suffer from hunger, thirst, dangerous jobs, prostitution, sexual abuse, diseases, exclusion, harassment, problems with the law, imprisonment, destructive drugs, domestic slavery, violence, among others. Learning Management System, an online platform that can be used for distant learning, which includes the DepEd LMS, DepEd Commons, DepEd Learning Resource, LR Portal, and third-party software such as Edmodo, Schoology, Google Classroom, and Microsoft Teams. Lesson Plan refers to the daily lesson log or detailed lesson plan as part of instructional planning. Other forms of lesson plan are the weekly lesson plan, weekly lesson log, weekly home learning plan, and lesson exemplars. The weekly home learning plan shall be prepared by teachers implementing distant and blended learning, while the DLP or DLL shall be prepared by teachers implementing face-to-face learning. During pandemic and other disruptive events, all public elementary and secondary school teachers in the region shall prepare their lesson exemplars instead of the usual detailed lesson plan and/or daily learning logs for MELs and or enabling competencies. Most essential learning competencies refer to the competencies from the K-12 curriculum guides, which are most useful in many professions and in everyday life, thereby satisfying the so-called endurance criterion. Anchored on the prescribed standards, these competencies identified by the department in consultation with the stakeholders are to be used nationwide by field implementers and private schools for school year 2020-2021. As a response to developing resilient education systems, most especially during emergencies such as the current global pandemic, online asynchronous teaching, a mode of teaching that involves learners downloading materials from the internet, completing and submitting assignments online through a learning management system such as the DepEd Commons and DepEd Learning Resource Portal, Google Classroom, and Microsoft Teams. Online synchronous teaching, a mode of teaching that utilizes video conferencing, live chat, instant messaging, or a combination of any of the online tools to engage learners to work in real time. These materials may be designed for collaborative tasks to engage learners on virtual collaboration among peers. Performance monitoring and coaching form provides a record of significant incidents, actual events, and behavior in which both positive and negative performances are observed, such as demonstrated behavior, competence, and performance. Positive use of ICT. Responsible, ethical, or appropriate use of ICT to achieve and reinforce learning. Supplementary materials refer to learning resources locally crafted by teachers to supplement the materials handed down by the DepEd Division, Regional, Central Offices. These materials should be aligned with DepEd standards and support the contextualized needs of learners in online, modular, MTB, and radio-based instruction. These teacher-made learning materials can be printed or digital modules, activity sheets, interactive e-materials, and MELS-aligned video and audio lessons. Writing tasks can also be part of the supplementary materials where learners can write the challenges they are facing and what parts of the lesson they did not fully understand and need additional help from their teacher. Teaching and learning resources. Teaching aids and other materials that teachers use not only to enhance teaching and learning, but also to assist learners to meet the expectation for learning as defined by the curriculum. Learning Action Cell functions as a professional learning community for teachers that will help them improve practice and learner achievement. LAC aims to improve the teaching learning process that will lead to improved learning among the students, to nurture successful teachers, to enable teachers to support each other to continuously improve their content and pedagogical knowledge, practice, skills, and attitudes, and to foster a professional collaborative spirit among school heads, teachers, and the community as a whole. Video lesson refers to a learning material similar to a video recorded lesson and videotape lesson used for online asynchronous teaching or used as supplementary material. This material can be uploaded to YouTube, Google Classroom, or any online platform, or distributed via storage devices. Weekly Home Learning Plan. The weekly home learning plan shall be prepared by teachers implementing distance and blended learning material, while the DLP or DLL shall be prepared by teachers implementing face-to-face learning. Wider school community refers to both internal and external stakeholders. This is all for the RPMS context and definition of terms. Muchísimas gracias. Again, this is Dr. Rosalio Conturno Jr. saying, no hay cosa imposible. Cree, junto, puede.